Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, served at Lake Panasoffkee and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 34 years, we have strived to serve great food at good prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our wings and burgers are the best around. We have our daily specials too. We are open Wednesday through Saturday. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information.
Man, you wouldn't believe. I don't think we've told your viewers you were our driver for the day. You were our runner. You were taking us to the everywhere we had to go for the day, which was a real pleasure because you and I were in the van a little bit, going to and from the hotel, getting the guys to the hotel, and I had to get them checked in and whatnot. We had great conversation. I really enjoyed that. But it's funny. A lot of runners just assume that because it's a country band, they need to play country music. And what they don't process is that they're musicians.
Yeah.
They like everything.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. We'll get in a van or, whatever SUV, and it's always like straight to 90s country. Like we don't hear that every day already. Now, with that being said, I'm a big 90s country fan.
Me too.
Like actually. So country music in general for me, but I like that's like soul food for me, I think is the best way to say it. So like, you're late night driving and you need something that just like that brings you home, 90s country every time.
And I'm so glad that I deterred from putting my 90s mix on there because it probably would have played 2 Dozen Roses and Moon Over Georgia. That's my wife and our favorite song, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was funny because she was at the concert and Marty had that couple come on stage and do the slow dance for their anniversary.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Don't ever do that to me." She's not an attention person at all. So
gotcha. That was completely unplanned, right? Did you gather that?
I either had I either knew that it was. I was like, oh, they probably got it. This is something that they worked on, or this is something so sporadic that I'm just like, let it roll. Let's go with it.
It was off the cuff completely. He just happened to see him over there dancing, and I don't even know what transpired. He just said, "Come up here. Let's come up on stage and dance for us."
Come on down. I mean, it was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a cool sight. But my wife's like, she would be so like, and it's nothing was wrong, but she was it was something that she like. It's an attention thing for her. She don't like all the attention. She's the behind the scenes person. She wants to be no recognition, and I'm the one that's like, hey. No, I was just kidding.
So you got a camera and set it up in your spot there, so the whole world could see you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As if the podcast isn't enough for you to tell. Yeah, whatever. No,
that's funny, man.
It's one of those things where you just like, people will, there's 2 types of people. There's the people that like me, where they're very friendly, whatever. And then there's people that are like, want to keep to themselves, and either one's fine. There are days where I want to keep to myself. Like people think I'm upset, or they're like, "What's wrong, man? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I'm like, nothing is wrong. Nothing's wrong. Can't I just have a moment?
Yeah. Right.
I just say it's downtime. I'm having some downtime.
I have another friend of mine, a tour manager for another country artist that, he, as the TM, the tour manager, you communicate with everybody about something all day. Like you're communicating with everybody on that bus about something, whether it's letting them know dinner, so they're used to you always being like right there all the time. Right. And after the show, you're typically on the bus, settling up whatever's going on for the day, putting stuff away, putting bus stuff, there's so many different things going on. So you're always up doing stuff. And, in the middle of a tour, my buddy, his show was over and bus started heading down the highway. Instead of like hanging out with everybody in the lounge, he just went to his bunk because he just wanted some time to himself. Totally get it. We all go through that. And they immediately were like, Yeah, buddy, are you okay? Like, is everything good? He's like, yes, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm not going to be fine if you don't leave me alone.
He's like, ask me again. See what happens.
Right. I was fine until you kept asking.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the married life. What's wrong? What's wrong? Yes, you ask your wife, like, like the old saying, like, I asked my wife what's wrong, and she doesn't answer. It's me. It's something I've done. I can't figure out what I've done.
That's funny.
No, like I said, great time at the fair. It was awesome. I don't know how. I mean, that's my kind of like my deal. Like, I love the whole production type thing.
Yeah.
Production value in the show. I'm always a behind the scenes kind of guy. Like, what makes this work? What are you doing? When you were doing the sound stuff, I went out there and I listened, and it's kind of cool to be a part of that, where you normally just show up and it's already there. People don't want to know how the sausage is made. They just want to eat the sausage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they
that's
don't care
okay,
about.
Because sometimes you see inside the kitchen that sausage was made in, you wouldn't want to take part of it. I've always said that some people are not made to see behind that kitchen door. You see what's behind the kitchen door, and it'll ruin the meal for you. It's the same thing with music.
I don't care how it was made. Just put it on the plate and give me a knife and fork.
Yeah. Don't show me the inspection for your cleanliness either. Just give me the food.
I'm not reading the reviews on the on Google or anything. Oh man. Let me ask you this. Do you know what a roach coach is?
A roach coach?
Yeah, roach coach.
I don't.
I'm gonna test your knowledge here. Have you ever been in a construction area and you see the little wagon that drives around that's got the food or drinks?
Yeah.
That it's got like a topper in the back. It's got the sides that flip up.
Yeah.
That's what people call the roach coach.
I've never heard that.
But I'm telling you, I used to do yards back in the day. Like, I used to landscape and fertilize brand new yards and stuff. And there would be new developments like this. The houses are just being built, and then past that is they're just laying the block. Some of the foundations being built. The footers are dug as they keep going on and on. Well, I'm out there. They just put my job was a new house. They put new sod on it, and I would fertilize it. That was the job. Nobody lives there yet. They haven't even sold the house. Just my job was to fertilize that grass. Okay. Well, you're out there. Like I said, there's nobody there except for the construction workers. And all of a sudden, I've been out there in the middle. I'm telling you, Greg, in the middle of nowhere. It's like, it's July, August, the sun's beating down. You're about to die. I got long sleeve shirts on, and this is how I became wearing long sleeve all the time. Long sleeve shirts. You got rubber boots on because you're walking around on the grass with fertilizer, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you look over in the distance, and here comes the roach coach. and you're like, yes, thank God. I tell people that all the time, like, a roach coach has saved my life more than once.
It brings a whole new thing to it for me now, learning roach coach. That's hilarious.
That's what we call it. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell you where I got that from or who actually said it the first time, but we call it the roach coach. And it's like, but I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, that's just the way it is. That's what they call it. And I'm telling you, I've been there, Greg, where I've about to die of thirst. And like I said, the shining beacon coming at you. You're like, thank God you saved me just in the nick of time.
Oh man, the roach coach.
But that's what when you said you don't want to see what goes behind the door, how the inspection and everything would be. That's exactly what I thought it was the roach coach.
That's great. I'm so glad you shared that with me.
You have to ask all the guys. Do y'all know what a roach coach is?
Yeah, when I get on the bus Thursday, I'm going to ask them. You guys heard of this?
This is a thing down in Florida. We missed out when we were there. We should have drove by a roach coach on the way to the hotel.
Absolutely. You got some tamales?
Yes. What did I get one time? Oh, and you got to get the green salsa, man. It's great.
Bro, I'm a big fan of green salsa.
Dude, that green salsa is legit, man. I'm telling you. It's not, we're not playing around when you put that on there.
All right. Man, there's this green sauce that my local Mexican restaurant puts on their shrimp enchiladas. And that's literally the only reason I get it is because of that green sauce. I love it so much. This is no joke. You know how you get sick and, you get sick after you eat something. It wasn't because of that. You just ended up with a stomach bug or something, and you can't eat that again for a while because what happens after. I love this so much that recently I got sick the day after eating it. And I was or a day or two, and I was very ill, and I still craved it after, and I have had it 2 or 3 times since. Like, it's just, and that's typically I'm the guy that, like, if I get sick, I still cannot eat pumpkin stuff. Like, I can't do pumpkin pie and whatnot because I ended up becoming ill after I had some pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh yeah,
and I still cannot stand the thought of eating anything pumpkin. That was 10 years ago.
Bro, when was this? Probably about 7 years ago. I was in line at Subway, and there was a guy ahead of me that I knew, and he was giving the guy making sandwiches a hard time. He was like, "Come on, man, you're taking forever." One of those deals, and you're like, "Come on, dude, he's going as fast as he can," whatever. But you don't say anything. You're just like, "Yeah." you're in agreement. You're like, "Yeah." Yeah, looking around like, "Oh, wait, did I just say that out loud?"
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you are. You're taking forever. And anyways, he gives the guy his food. He gives me my food. And we're not even together. Like, it's somebody I know. He would just like casually look back and be like, "Hey, how's your mom?" And then blah, blah. Yeah. And I ate that sandwich, bro. And like, not even an hour later, I was sick.
Oh no.
I was like, I don't know what he did to this sandwich, man. I don't know what he did, but I was like, dude, I don't think
it was immediately his fault.
It was psychosomatically. I could have been like, the food could have been bad. I mean, it could have been, I could have got food poisoning, but he probably didn't have anything to do with that. But I haven't been to Subway in 7 years. So
yeah. Okay. I get it.
So when people go, "Let's go to Subway," I'm like,
nah.
I think that's a hard pass. Let me get that pub sub.
I had an HR director at a place that I worked for a small period of time that's all he would want to do for lunch was Subway because you didn't have to tip. He was a real cheap man. He was real frugal, so he'd get like whatever the cheapest thing was, and he wouldn't have to tip, so he would go there.
He's like, "Let me go there and get that $5 foot long combo."
I mean, I fell in love with America, and I will always love South Africa. That's never going to change. And let me tell you why I fell in love with America. I think many people take America for granted for what it has to offer, because if you live with it in every single day and you grow up with it, and I personally think that America is one of the greatest countries on earth. I mean, here you experience really what true freedom is, and you only experience, like when we grew up in South Africa, and you live in those conditions. There's good things in South Africa and there's bad things in South Africa. And so there's good things in America and there's bad things in America, for sure. Every country has them. But then we came to America, and I just realized, man, I can stop at a traffic light and not be concerned. I can pick up the phone and call 911 if I need to, and someone's going to answer and they're going to show up.
In a short time.
In a very short time.
Oh, wow.
There's a working postal service. There's a working fire department, police, ambulance, EMS. All those basic services that we all as human beings need are really functioning extremely well in America, which in many parts around the world, not just particularly South Africa, it's not necessarily the case.
Right.
So it enables you to be, better, starting a business and relying on all those things. So it's been great. So, 2017 I came, and Pete came in.
Okay, so sorry about that. I plugged my cords into something and the fuse popped. So
actually, Billy, what I wanted to say is we wanted to give you the true South African experience. You know, in South Africa, there's a lot of what they call load shedding, which is where there's rolling blackouts.
The power just goes out.
This is a true South African experience.
I love it.
We cut the power so you can just see what it's like. What's life without power? You know.
Oh man, during the hurricane season, we'll have we had you guys were here for that, right? But we had one in we go a couple days without power. We're like, what's wrong with it? Like, please God, turn it crazy. On. It's crazy how we can't go very very far without.
Take someone's cell phone away today. Take someone's cell phone away.
Oh my gosh, today. Yeah, my phone's about to die. Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
It's funny talking about hurricanes. I remember when I moved here in 2017, we had Irma come through, and we're not familiar with hurricanes in South Africa.
Not at all.
Not at all. So I was not even here a few months, and we had Irma roll through, and my family is losing their mind. They're like, you listen, get in the car, just get out of town. Like, there's a hurricane coming. I said, Dad, these guys are prepared for it. Don't worry. He's like, no, get in the car and just leave. So it was fun.
I arrived 23rd of August 2019, and Dorian was on its way. Yeah,
that's
and
right.
Literally, I thought what did I get my family into? You know, there's literally no natural disasters. There's a drought in South Africa, but nothing like this. And so we're getting here, and there's Dorian is coming. It's going to hit Orlando. We had to shut down the Orlando campus for Tupperware, and I was like, man, what did I get myself into? So I went to Home Depot. I bought a gas grill because people told me if you lose power, I said, man, I can grill, and we like to grill. We call it braai.
Yeah.
You know, so we like to braai. We like to barbecue. And then once I bought it, I learned that the community I stayed in did not allow you to have a gas grill. You have to use the communal facilities. Anyway, but so this thing was coming all the way. It was going to hit us, and literally it turned north, and it went up the coast, and it missed us.
Oh, yeah.
But that was my first experience. I was like, what the heck? You know? I thought I will just drive it. I will just outdrive it if it comes any closer because, we're just not used to it.
We had one, so 2004, we had 3 or 4. There's debate on that if it was the fourth one, but the fourth one was kind of like in the Panhandle, but it is still Florida. So we had one literally go up the side of the east coast of Florida, and it looks like oh, we're gonna get missed, and it like turned the blinker on, and it went off the off ramp, and it did like a P and went straight across the inland, the peninsula. Crazy. It was crazy. It was like, oh yeah, you think we're gone? All right, let's go.
Pull up the handbrake.
No, I tell you,
we're gonna drift right into Florida. But yeah, it's crazy how and it's always like, I don't know. As long as nobody gets hurt, I like to have somebody go through a hurricane the first time. I know they're really anxious because they're like, I don't know what to expect. And I'm like, around here, if you don't live around a bunch of trees, like that's the most, like the worst damage that you'll get from a hurricane, unless your roof rips off. And I'm not, please don't get me wrong, I'm not downsizing any hurricane or anything, but majority of the time, by the time it gets across the state,
especially Central Florida,
exactly, it's done weakened down. I mean, it can be a really, really strong hurricane, but by the time, if we don't cut all the trees down in the state from people moving down here and making houses, we should be fine for future hurricanes. I'm just saying. But a lot of people, now if you're on the coast, get out.
Get out. For
get
sure.
out of here.
You need to know your evacuation route, right?
For sure.
And there's always somebody like, damn the tornado or the hurricane! I'm staying home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're on the coast. One year, I don't remember what hurricane it was, but they're like, I believe it was supposed to hit Tampa, and they're on they evacuated all the beaches, right? And there's a guy there dragging a cooler on the beach, like he's going to the beach, and the news reporters are like, sir, do you know that the hurricane's coming? And the guy goes, I got a cooler. And I'm like, yeah, but that cooler's going to go just as far as you are when you get launched off the beach.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's amazing how people kind of lose their minds when they.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You're like, I'm not going anywhere. I was born on this land. I'll die on it. You know, but I'm like, make a better choice, guys. Just pay the hotel room up in Georgia and you'll be fine.
Take a holiday. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a scary thing. And you said you don't get anything like that in South Africa?
Nothing.
You guys have sharks, though. You guys got them great
that's
whites.
on the coast, you know.
That's
They're in the water. You know where they are.
Hey, let me tell you, they were talking about a shark attack, right? Everybody's like, oh, it was a shark attack. Shark attack. The key word, shark attack, right? And they're trying to make this, they're trying to grow this villain, this shark. And someone said, man, it's only a shark attack if you're in your living room, that joker busts through the door and tries to bite you.
Exactly.
You're in its domain. You are in its living room, and he thinks you're something to eat.
Yeah.
So it's funny how people, but
there's more sharks in New Smyrna Beach than in South Africa, it's all relative, right?
It's all relative. I know that in Cape Town, it was a huge tourist, and I think they're starting to kind of tone down on that a bit because they were chumming the waters in Cape Town and bringing all the great white sharks because they were sending people down there in cages to experience the great white sharks. And then, so it was a pretty large tourist attraction in Cape Town.
Yeah.
But they started kind of toning back on that because they realized it wasn't good for the ecosystem and the environment because the sharks weren't doing what they used to do. They were just hanging around waiting for food to be jumped, so... But yeah, we get some serious great whites and whales in South Africa because, you've got, especially at Cape Point, you've got the two oceans coming together there. It's very stormy waters, but a beautiful area. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Africa. Seriously. I've always wanted to go and
it would
do a
be
safari.
one of your best trips ever, I tell you.
No,
the best time of your life.
So I have to give a shout out. I have a friend of mine, Renee. She used to work with me at Disney. She lives in Ohio now. But she married a guy from South Africa, and they married and they have a little girl, and she just went. I showed you I showed you a picture. She went out. I'm not quite sure where they live, but they had zebras in the backyard. I'm like, oh my God, how cool is that? It's like your own little animal kingdom in the back. It's so cool. And I'm like, but now there are people that have zebras in Texas. Because they have such a huge amount of land that they put them in there. And then I'm like, but you can't ride them. You can't eat them. Well, maybe you could try, but I wouldn't eat them.
No.
Then I'm like, they're cool to look at. Now, how cool would it be to drive around and you're like, look, there's my zebras.
In certain places in South Africa, of course, in the nature preserves, in like the Kruger National Park, when you go live there, you go on holiday there, there's a lot of people that have their own farms, of course, and have all these wildlife on their farms.
Right.
But there's this myth in South Africa, right, where people are like, being a South African in America can also be very funny because you travel and you would sit on a plane next to someone. And they're like, so where are you from? You're like, no, I'm from South Africa. So they're like, oh, so is that in Africa?
Yeah.
Where? Well,
South.
South Africa, right? So, and then people say, man, I've heard you guys have some pretty crazy wildlife out there. And I can promise you, lions are not running through the streets of Johannesburg and Pretoria and Cape Town and, rhinos. Once there was something came loose in the Pretoria Zoo once, but that was a lion came loose.
But they're thinking like Jumanji is out there,
the Wild West.
I tell you, in the 5-6 years that I lived here in Florida, I've seen more wildlife
for sure
in the community.
Yeah,
I've seen a bobcat, we've seen coyotes,
bears,
deer. In South Africa, you don't see that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all fenced off, it's all controlled areas.
Right.
So you have areas where there's a lot of wildlife, but in the cities, there's none. I've never in 46 years, I've never seen a lion roaming free.
No.
I've never seen a zebra run
crazy,
around.
Man.
I've never seen a giraffe or elephant. None of those things. They just you don't see them in a city. It's so people often do you see you see a zebra in your backyard and so I've got a small farm and there in the backyard we do have zebras and stuff like that, but it's not in a city. So I think the wildlife in America is pretty awesome.
Amazing.
It's I live right next to a lake, and the wildlife that I see there is just phenomenal. Again, really appreciate what you have right here on your back door. Like the wildlife. Black bears here in Florida.
Black bears,
gators.
It's pretty wild here.
Alligators are everywhere.
I went in as an undrafted rookie free agent. Didn't get drafted. Did the whole get together like my brother did. Family sitting around waiting on thinking my number gonna get called. that was another embarrassing moment to finally see the light get turned off because day one come by. I know I didn't have a shot at day one. Day two come by, now it's getting down. And then, I turned my phone off. Went to the river at the time, was my girlfriend, which is my wife now. I went to the river and I cried. Where do I go from here?
Right.
And that time that I'm out there at the river freaking crying, brother, Jerry Jones is calling my phone. My brother. So as I hear the story, I pull up once I get done, get myself together now, I go out to the local wreck there in Dade City. And as I'm pulling up, my brother's coming to the truck. And whenever you see Darren coming at you, man, it's usually not a good thing. And he come in, he's like, man, where the hell you been? Man, these people been calling you. They're gonna bring you in as a rookie. Man. So he's on his phone. I'm trying to turn my phone back on.
Yeah.
They got what they want now.
Yeah.
So now I got to sit out and wait until one of them get hurt.
Wow.
Having a pity party.
Yeah.
Having a pity party when the phone is still, I didn't understand the undrafted free agency. I don't know they bring you in for camp. I didn't understand none of that.
Yeah.
All I know is I'm turning the lights off. I know people gonna call, wonder why my name wasn't called. I felt like I did a good enough job down at Savannah State to show them that the athleticism is there. I ran 250 pounds at the time. Rushed for almost 1,300 yards, got player of the year, got all these accolades here at Savannah State, and I still didn't get a draft. So I was kind of hurt there. I was really hurt there. And so time had it where now Jared and them say, hey, man, we'll have to get back with you. They brought in some other guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So there's no other opportunity came up. And people say that when my brother finally got to, we had mini camp. They had mini camps and all this other stuff. The players say my brother came in the locker room with a different type of attitude, and say my brother went to Jerry and say, "Hey, is my brother up next? If somebody get hurt or something, will you bring my brother in?" This and that. And they say my brother went on a tear, giving the running backs hell, busting the fullbacks up. Looking to my script, the dude, had one of the best camps he's ever had.
Yeah.
Working on getting me in. And sure enough, he ended up, one of the guys got hurt, and I was the next name up. And that's how I got on.
Wow.
I come in, talk to Jerry and them, go out. When I go out to work out, do my individual workout on the field for physical purposes, physical examination, and to see how I ran my routes and all. When I look up, bro, in the back of the Cowboys, when you're in the locker room, you can look out. They got glasses, and you can look out on the field. When I get done with the work and I look up, man, it had to be at least 15, 20 guys looking at me working out.
Wow.
Looking at me working out. When I come through the door, they know it. Everybody hugging me, man. Guys, I met a couple times because I hung up there with Darren a little bit.
Right.
You feel me? And they got to know the guys hanging in the locker room. And man, they said, "Ham, you got it, boy. You got it." And from that point on, man.
Wow.
They said, man, the guys said, man, we never seen your brother work like this, man. Man, your brother was knocking the hell up, man.
Like he was possessed.
We don't even have pads on. They didn't have pads on. The running backs catch the ball, handbrake, knocking it out their arms. He punching them, he fighting them, making room for little brother.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When I go in the locker room, man, finally get in the meeting room with the guys, man, it's about 10 running backs in there. I'm number 11th. I had work to do.
Yeah.
And when I left, when I was done with that rookie year, my rookie year, preseason, I led the teams in tackles. Had a good showing, playing fullback and running back. I made it all the way to the last cut. And, you stay up in the hotel rooms then. You know? And the name of the game is don't answer that phone.
Yeah.
You hear me? That phone ain't got no reason. That room phone ain't got no reason to to be ringing in the hotel.
Right.
The phone, it got 2 players in there, me and another running back.
Yeah.
And the phone ring, both of us looking at the phone like, who gonna answer that motherfucker? You hear me, bro? I ain't answering it. So when they come down, hey, brother, right hand to guard. So boom, they cut the guy. So they cut the guy before.
Yeah. So
lo and behold, guess who's in the room? I'm the only one in the room.
Yeah.
The phone gets ringing. And this is the last cut before the regular season.
Yeah.
The phone gets freaking ringing, man. 6:30 in the morning.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't either. and it's still ringing. It's still ringing. Finally, after trying to make contact with me, I turned my cell phone off. I didn't answer that phone. Finally, my brother called. No, I go to the house. And we were staying with his lady friend at the time named Tracy. And I walked through the door, and man, Tracy meet me at the door and hugged me. Now, I know what's going on. And I was like, where my brother at? Man, he back there crying. Tracy, man, they've been calling him. They got to let you go. Da-da-da. Hopefully they can bring you back on the practice squad. But Darren's back there devastated. Devastated.
Wow. Wow.
Devastated, bro. He seen little bro in the work. You know, he seen then, yeah, bro was devastated, man. So, you know, time went on, and so I had to go turn the playbook in, you know. And I think 4 days later, they brought me on and put me on that practice squad. They brought me on and put me on the practice squad.
Wow.
And then I never stopped working.
Yeah.
It just made me a little hungry. I broke for at the end of the year, at the end of that first year on practice squad. I worked till the season was, you know, December time. We playing Philly. The season is about over. Guys done got hurt. Chris Warren was a running back then.
Yep.
He was behind Emmett.
Okay.
And he was having issues because he wanted more money than what they was giving him. They're giving Emmett the ball, you know. And Chris Warren ended up staying in D.C. He didn't want to catch the team playing back. He was like, F the Cowboy, you know, and stayed gone a couple of days.
Yeah.
So when he do show up, he's coming to get his crap out of the locker room. He said, man, he's had enough of this here.
Wow.
With that move, I was the next man up. With that move, I honor Chris Warren by wearing the number 42.
Yep.
That was C-Dub's number.
Yep.
It was C-Dub's number down with Seattle. It was his number here at the Cowboys.
Yep.
He threw me the jersey, bro.
Yeah.
Ham, go get mail, bro. Go get mail, bro.
Wow.
But Emmett is the token child. Emmett is the baby.
Oh yeah.
Don't step on. Stay out here.
Yeah. I mean, it's Emmett. I mean, it's gotta be hard to be on a team where there's somebody. It's no different. I mean, obviously, there's so many other players right now that it's like if in Dallas now, the backup quarterbacks are not going to be Dak Prescott.
They're not going to be him.
They're not going to be Dak.
They're not. So they brought me up the last couple games, and they plugged me in. We're getting blowed out in Philly late December. Season over. We're not going to the playoffs.
At the old vet.
Yeah, at the old vet.
Yeah.
The old turf.
That old crappy stadium.
Yeah, yeah. And
who was the coach then? Was that Campo?
Campo was the coach.
Okay, I got some questions about Campo, but go ahead.
So Campo was the coach. So he at the end of the game, you know, I'm still pacing the sideline, hoping coach would give me some reps at running back. And man, it's like maybe 3 or 4 minutes left on the clock. And we're backed up on our own 1 yard line. And coach put me at a fullback and run a fullback belly. And I took that belly 75 yards, got ran down. But man, they hit through that middle and get past that linebacker, bro. And man, And that's what started it. Mm-hmm. I broke loose, man, got down there, man. The guy caught me by the 10-yard line. I was trying to get there. I didn't care about that clock and was getting blown out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get footwork and film work for the next year. Mm-hmm. You know? And they had a lot of decisions at the time, but they also had the decision but they had Emmett, you know, and they're honing in on the all-time leading rushing record. And that was on that run. That run allowed me to stay a little longer, and then coming into that next year, I was able to gain a little more momentum. Mm-hmm. You know, they brought in their draft picks. Yeah, but I didn't see none of that stuff. That next year, I led the teams in tackles on special teams. You know, just being an athlete. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's how I ended up getting on the field.
Getting down there.
Getting with Coach Joe Alvazano.
Rest in peace.
Amen. Amen.
What a great guy.
Man,
never got to meet him, but what a great guy. He was just one of those guys that's like fundamentally sound of like special teams. Just got it. You know what I mean? One of those things.
And everybody loved him.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. And he should have been a head coach because we would die for him.
Yeah. He seems like a guy.
Man, he's the guy you play for.
Yeah.
He should have got his opportunity as head coach somewhere. I ended up following Joe down to Oakland. That's what kind of influenced that. Hey man, I'm gonna get Oakland a shot. Yeah. You know, he was down in Arizona. You know, Norv Turner was there. I never met Norv until I got there. He was the head coach then. So
another great mind.
Yeah, another great mind. But that's how my career started.
That's something you'll never forget.
No.
You know what I mean? And then, but you throw them off by going, "Hey, I'm ready." And they're like, "Wait,
oh yeah, that was so surprising.
We don't have to dangle the carrot.
No,
we don't have to dangle the carrot in front of you, in front of the horse as it's pulling the cart.
Oh yeah,
no, you're good. You're good. You got.
Oh yeah,
you got
exactly.
So who was the head coach there at the time?
Jim Levitt.
Levitt. Okay,
Levitt was my coach. You know, he was different, and I loved it. I loved being different. You know, I love him being different, and you know, as soon as got there, you just like put us through hell. It was good, you know, for us, and I really enjoy him.
Now, was Ben there when you were there?
Yep, Ben was there.
Ben was a senior?
Yep, he was a senior. Yeah, Ben was a senior. Sam Miller was there.
Oh, Sam, I forgot Sam was there.
Yeah,
good old Sam.
Oh, man, it was...
I love Sam.
Sam's
such a good guy.
Sam was a hitter. I mean, it was... I remember one time in practice, me and Sam, we hit each other. He played linebacker, I played fullback, you know, or running back. We hit each other, boom. Congratulations. You know, it was a good hit. Man, I got chewed out by Coach Franks. He was getting chewed out by Wally Brown. Y'all mother South Sumter, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You need to hit each other harder than that. And then sure enough, like Sam went to straight crazy mode, you know. I was like, he started to make that scream, like, you know, like he powering up, and then we hit each other. Boom. He hit me to my knees. I remember coming back to the huddle, Mike Ford was just like, Kelly, I'm just like, well, what's up? Your helmet is like dented. I mean, he's caved in like the side of my face mask and helmet. That's how hard he is.
Oh my gosh. He went beast mode on you.
Oh, he went beast mode. I was like, damn, you know, I didn't think he was gonna go that hard.
Dude, I can't imagine taking on Sam then. But have you seen Sam lately?
Not lately. Not. I mean,
I saw. Well, it's been a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not. I think it's about a year ago.
Yeah.
I saw Sam. Dude, there's no way.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
Sam
if I had to go up against Sam, like he wins.
Oh yeah.
I forfeit.
Oh yeah. I mean, Sam literally had all the running backs shook. You know.
Wow.
Except for me, I wasn't shook. But
right. You just got your helmet.
You got me good.
So my brother tells Tom being hit hard. My brother tells a story about how he got Kendall hit him in practice.
Oh yeah,
and deviated his septum. The military had to fix his nose.
Oh yeah,
because Kendall messed it up.
Yeah. Kendall was a rocker. You know, me and Kendall actually talked last night, and he was just saying like, you know, for him hitting me every day really, you know, made him improve every single day. Because I mean, in high school, you guys, a lot of guys, they were getting a lot of concussions coming around me because we just was so physical back then. I just love the physicality about football. You know, I just love just running through somebody. Even if I get ran through, I'm just like, all right, good job, do it again.
Yeah,
you know, do it again.
Yeah, I dare you.
Yeah, just keep on going.
I think a lot of people that you're talking about the concussion thing, and if you notice, I don't know if you still watch a lot of football, but the concussion thing has not been either. It's not as highlighted as it was, but I think the techniques are better now.
Yes, I agree.
That they're not. I mean, because I just finished. I coached Jason Wilpack, and I had to do every year. You got to do the coaching thing.
Yep.
And they teach you all the techniques because it changes from year to year.
Oh yeah.
But I just finished that, and I'm like, man, if we would have just maybe if some of those things would have been brought up like 20 years ago, we wouldn't have had. I mean, they've been having concussions since the game started, but it escalated so quickly in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the awareness, everybody's like, but it's also deterred people from playing football because they're like, my kid's not getting a concussion. I'm like, it's actually safer now than it was when we were kids.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
So, you ever had something as Earl Everett, like say something going on there?
I would say actually remember.
God dang, if you can't remember, you had one.
No, I did. I would say I did have a concussion. My freshman year.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, my freshman year I had a concussion, and then that's when I really had to change the way I hit. Because we were playing against the Oregon Ducks on kickoff return, and I was on kickoff return, and this guy, man, he was jacked. I don't know what he was on, but he was just like, he loved pain or something. And Coach Levy gave us a motivation speech because we were down in halftime. He was like, "Oh, you underclassmen, you need to go out there and sacrifice your bodies for the upperclassmen." Everybody come together. Yeah, let's do it. And I remember where I was kickoff return, we was getting the ball. I see the ball go over the top of my head, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm running full speed." Boom, I got him. Don't get me wrong. He went backwards. He went backwards. I went forward. Suffered. He got up. I did not. I just all of a sudden, I just heard the crowd noise. Just started like, and it started dimming. I'm just like, holy crap, this almost feel like fight night, And then I just remember just laying down. Yeah. And I just started laying on the ground. And then I remember my wife was just saying, and they had to cut a break, and then when the break came back, I was still on the ground. And
they went to commercial break.
Yeah, they went to commercial break. That's how hard. Like I was out cold.
Yeah, 3 commercials.
Yeah, for real. And then they even said like Coach Levitt came out, but it was just like after like 5 minutes he came out in the field just checking up on me. And whenever they came over there, they was like, "Richard, do you know where you are right now?" I'm looking around. Well, I see mountains, so I know we're definitely not in Florida right now. But other than that, I don't know what state we're in.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really. Wow. So that night, I was just like, "Oh damn, we're in Texas."
Yeah. It's amazing how much just because people don't understand. Your brain is just like floating around.
Yeah.
And then once you you could fall off this couch and get a concussion if you hit your head just right.
Oh yeah.
But there's people that and it's always. I don't try to make light of the situation, but everybody tries to make, you always have a funny, there's something funny about it.
Oh, yeah.
But you're like, man, it sucked after that because I'm sure you couldn't be real sensitive to the light, blah, blah, you had a headache, whatever. Everybody's different. They have different symptoms, whatever. But it's amazing how, for a while their concussions were just like, it was like a comedic thing. Like, oh, he's concussed. He's on the one movie, like, hey, how many fingers am I holding up? And like, it's like 4. Wait. It's got to be true or false. This man's holding up some fingers.
Yeah.
True or false? He's like, true? He's like, he's going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a lot of teammates of mine have concussion. I remember my Bash brother, Kenneth Labrise, I call him my Bash brother on kickoff return. And I remember we were playing against Miami, and this dude, instead of like, we used to come as a wedge, and the dude, of course, you don't want to take us both on, so he picked one of us, and he picked him. And I just heard, woof, like a car wreck, All of a sudden, I started to run off the sideline. I heard, Kelly, I'm just like, who calling me? Labrise, you good? He was like, hey, man, come here. I was like, are you good? He was like, hey, man, you got to help me get to the sideline. Like, the ground is moving like this right here. I'm just like, okay, hey, right foot. Here, we're literally counting right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot.
No way. He's like, I'm in a fun house right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see.
Yeah, exactly. So everything we did is moving in his brain. I'm just like, yeah.
Wow, dude. I was gonna say that was when they used to run the wedge.
When we used to run the wedge. Yeah.
Man,
I got a lot of highlights.
Wedge. So you were like a wedge blocker.
Oh yeah, I was a wedge blocker. I mean, I used to destroy people. We got things from South Sumter, where we had that physicality. When I went to college and having that same type of physicality, everybody was like, "What the heck?" I mean, I always used to run through people on that wedge. You got to think that wedge. Whenever you set up that wedge and kick out return, we all got to be running like over like 20 miles per hour, or something like that, and coming
it's a straight sprint.
A straight sprint and just bang.
Wow. Yeah. So, did your teammates? I know Ben and Sam were there. Mm-hmm. Did they just did they go, okay, he's one of them South Central boys, he'll be all right, or did they did they kind of look at you like you got something to prove?
No, I mean, it's one of the things where it's just like, oh, he's South Sumter, he'd be okay, type of thing. I would say there was one time I blocked Ben. I kind of blindsided him. I didn't want to clean him off his feet, but just a little love tap, just and Ben was just Ben was kind of crazy, Ben was just he was like, Larry, if you ever do that again, I'm gonna beat you. I'm just like, all right, note to self, don't do that again.
You're like, I want to live to see the next 3 years of my collegiate career.
Oh, no, exactly. But it was good.
Dang,
it was a good experience.
As you know, we also have a lime rock mine on our ranching land down in Maybelle. And when we got that going, we knew nothing about mining. So we had other companies that are professionals do that for us. And then years rocked along, and then we had the opportunity to buy the mining business. That was what was best for our family and for the business at the time. So we did. We didn't know anything about it, but buddy, we went right after it. And we had a crew of, a small crew of people that worked for us and that we cared for and loved and treated like family. And if something was broke down, you would find Paul and his dad back there getting after it. He'd be digging out a crusher, and at 4:00 in the morning when the scale house girl didn't show up, I'd be up there scaling trucks, and your employees and your customers see all of that and they're like, gosh, these people own this place. They're so invested. Golly, this is where we want to do business. This is who we want to talk to, because that was the owner's wife in that scale house window. So much like, I always tell this little joke, and I tell it probably a little stronger than what I'm going to tell it here on the radio. But 4:00 in the morning, truckers are lined up to get loaded out. So it's just usually the scale house girl and a loader in the back and trucks everywhere. And so I'm up there just scaling out these trucks, and, a trucker pulls up there and he was just complaining and just saying all this, that, and the other, and had no idea who I was, because that it doesn't matter. I'm a scale house girl at that point. And so I tell you what, I will let the owner know. And, he looked at me really crazy, and I said, yes, that's my husband. And then he was just nice as pie, and so was the 10 truckers behind. So obviously he got on the radio and said, that's the owner's wife, don't tell her anything.
Oh my gosh.
But being invested in what you believe in is so important, and you see success in different ways. It does not by any means have to always be on the monetary side of that. Getting to work side by side with your family, whatever that means. It might be a cousin or a brother or sister, mother, dad, whatever, someone that you care for greatly. That there is such gratification in that, and succeeding together. It is a wonderful feeling. This morning, on my drive over here, it was so foggy. Just couldn't really see good, and it's later in the morning, So I texted my girls and said, golly, we had such a beautiful day when we shipped our calves this week. We picked the perfect day because it had rained on Monday and Tuesday morning early, and Wednesday morning it was just beautiful. And if we'd have picked Friday, we wouldn't even be able to see the cattle till 9:00 probably, which would have really messed things up. So you got to be grateful for the little things and find the silver lining, because it's there. You just have to look for it.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people have a misconception of being successful is just making the most amount of money. And I can tell you that when people get together, especially families, I know there's some, if I would be the same way. Now, don't get me wrong, the money would be nice, but if you were comfortable, you never made that extra money, but you got to spend time with your family, I think that means the most. I think that means more than any kind of paper or any kind of valuable asset.
I agree. I fully agree. And really trying to, we have 2 girls and they're really close and their lives intertwined, but they're separate business wise, you know, and both very good at what they do. And they both have 2 boys. So we have 4 little boys that run together, and just having them together is what matters. You know, whether we're riding around feeding cattle or we're somewhere enjoying a dinner. You know, and it, as you said, it doesn't. They can just be swimming in the swimming pool, and I am a happy woman. You know, they and the girls know. They're like, Mom, if you'll just watch the boys, we'll go take care of this. I'm like, you got it, because I'm happy and they're happy.
Yep, absolutely.
And you need to find what brings you joy.
Yep.
And then capitalize and do that.
Absolutely.
And again, it doesn't have to be monetary. Yes, that helps. But we need to find joy in something that is not material, something that is real,
genuine, like something within that you can pass on to your kids or grandkids or their kids, whatever. Something that they're going to take, and it's going to be it's way more valuable than any kind of tangible object. Just like I would rather teach. I've got 4 nieces and now 2 nephews. So I would rather teach them something that be something beneficial in the long run, or something that might, God forbid, save their life. You know what I mean? Like, not save their life, but something where they get in a situation, they go, oh, I know what to do. Exactly. Versus, oh, here's $20. Go get away from me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, look, people are different. And I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just saying it's just the way that I would prefer it. And that's just my own personal opinion. And there's some people that go, I used to think gift cards were like the most like, whoever made this is the most miserable person in the world, because there's no authenticity, there's no personal connection. It's just like, hey, here's a gift card. But I have used gift cards because you get in that part where you go, I don't know what to get them. And so you go, I know what they like. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can't tell you, this is probably, it's kind of happened to everybody at least once. Somebody buys you a gift and you're like, oh, thank you. You're very appreciative because they shouldn't have done that. But you're like, what is it? Or I'm never going to use it. And they just don't know. I mean, they were just being like, hey, I'm going to get them this. So I take it upon myself to try to make sure that if I'm buying a gift for a certain niece or nephew or my own kids, it's personal. It's personalized, where I go, wow, they really like, it'd be like if Jason and I, we follow the Cowboys. It'd be like if I bought him an Eagles hat. He'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like he would be like, thank you, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to wear it. I would be the same way. Thank you. Right. Let's just shove that off to the side. That's kind of a stronger version of that. But you see what I'm saying, though. Like I would rather teach them something that. I'll give you an example. A couple months ago, Jace is in the yard, and he's Nicole her therapy is she's going to water the plants and stuff. She loves gardening and stuff, so she's out there, and I'm sitting on the porch with him. I'm watching like, hey, you're doing a great job out there. No, but she loves it, and so Jace is like, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help. He goes out there and grabs the hose, and this hose is, it's got to be like almost 150 feet. Feels like it. And he's pulling. So he gets this idea, I'm just going to yank it. Well, the hose bib that comes on the house has seen some better days. So he yanks it, and all of a sudden he has this. Now I can't see it because it's on the side of the house, but I can see his face, and he has this freaked out look like, Oh my gosh. And he starts yelling, Billy, Billy. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, hold on a minute. And I'm like, get up on him, walk over them. Like, and it just, water just gushing like a hydrant. I'm like, oh. I was like, oh my gosh. So growing up, that was Dad's job. Now it's mine. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I mean,
right.
where's
the water cut off?
Right. Yeah. I still don't know where the water cut off is. But I was able to, so I went to turn the gate, the handle, and it just breaks off of my hand like it's just dry rotted. It should have been replaced years ago. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went and got my tools and Jace realized, he's like, you can't be yanking, you know. I got upset and I just, but I didn't let him go long because I was almost scared to death. Like, I'm not going to get this thing cut off and we're being charged by the gallon.
Yeah, the meter's just spinning.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. So when all was said and done and the water dried, I went over to him and I was like, hey, look, what did we learn? Because that's the most important part. What did we learn out of this? And he's like, well, I was pulling the hose too hard. And I was like, yep, okay. So did we learn not to do that? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, if that's the least of my worries right now, that's the most thing you're going to get in trouble with or whatever. I'm like, I think I'm doing all right. Yeah. But I told him, I was like, look, you're going to do way more dumber things than that. But you don't know till you know. And that's the fact is you got to keep, you move on, you do every day. And it's like, it's not just him learning, I'm learning too. Like, right. So we coincide together. We were like, that's why I told him, I was like, listen, it's all good. I'll fix it. But man, we got to make better decisions than that. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's just one of those things. It's a learning process that you are not taught. Like you said earlier, kids don't come with a instruction manual. And I was going to say, you're talking about the two girls being, they're being completely opposites and they're raised into the same house. Isn't that weird?
It's amazing
how you can just have two different personalities and now,
Yeah. Teaching children by example, whether you are at the age that you are parenting or parenting at the age that I am, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, as well as I do, we have learned by example.
Right.
The best lessons we've learned has been by example. Just like pulling that, the best thing you could have told him 10 times, don't pull that too hard. Yep, don't pull
absolutely.
That too hard. But when he pulled it out of the law, he will not do that again.
He'll
pretty
never
sure.
forget it.
That's
right.
Exactly right. In so much of our life, in not just our own kids, cultivating the community. Mm-hmm. You have a great role in that, being a coach. You are seen not only by your family here at home, you're seen by all of those football kids and older, young men, and get the opportunity to show by example, whatever that means. And I feel like with us, growing up in this small community with the girls, we have had that opportunity as well. Mm-hmm. Whether it was with agriculture, how the kids that would come to the house because we have we had a great place to be. They could get out in the pasture, they could ride and run and just have a big time. But when they came back to the house, and of course we would feed them and everything like that,
right.
They knew that everybody needs to be quiet. Miss Reba's going to say the lesson, mm-hmm. and then we can eat.
Right.
So the example that I set as just a young parent, because that's what I did with my kids. So, we got 40 kids here. We're still going to do that.
Right.
And then, so 10 years later at a barbecue, all the kids are out of school. They all have little kids running around. I am not in my own turf. I'm attending as a guest somewhere. And it got time to eat. And one of those young men said, all right, Mr. Reba's going to say the blessing, and then we'll eat.
Right.
And it meant so much to me to know that I had that impression on him. And so when I want people to know that I am a faithful woman as well, and I want that to be part of the legacy that I live and the legacy that I leave, whether it is with people who have been around my children or my children and my grandchildren, and leading by example and learning together is a huge part of that, no matter our roles in life.
Right. You said competitive spirit, but I also think it's in our DNA.
It is.
It really is, because since the dawn of time, we have wanted to be the best.
The best at everything.
Because you know why? If you weren't, you died.
You died.
You died.
You died.
You got sick.
You gotta remember.
Died.
Yeah, you gotta remember. World War I, World War II. It was about overtaking and establishing the new world.
Yeah.
What was the new world? Who was going to be the new world? Who was going to set the new trend? We're fighting to be the best. That's what we're doing. It's like you say, it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
It is definitely there.
It comes down to a survival thing. I think, because they always say the strong will survive, and that's true. But I've met some people that were not strong physically, but mentally. And it was scary.
And you're going,
man.
And this is the thing. It's like David Goggins, right? I heard NBA star Gilbert Arenas talking about he missed some free throws in the game.
Gilbert Arenas, the West Coast assassin.
Yeah, Agent Zero. Yeah, real basketball knowledge. Yeah, he was talking about how he missed some clutch free throws in the game, and one of his teammates asked him, "Hey, how does that make you feel?" And he's never thought about how that made him feel until that moment his teammate asked him that, and he was like, it struck something in him to where he wanted to go to a place where he knew he would never miss in a clutch moment again. And he met David Goggins, and they went on a journey, a run. And he told him, "How far are we running?" Gilbert asked him, "How far are we running?" He said, "Until you see the greenhouse, that's when we'll stop." So they started running at a good pace. And Gilbert said about an hour into the run, he noticed he didn't see a greenhouse.
You gotta have that mentality. Never stop.
And they ran.
Did the greenhouse ever come?
They ran for 3 hours before he said something. And then he said, "Hey, I never saw a greenhouse." And he said, "Look how far you ran, though."
Yeah. Because you gave him a goal, and that's what he was shooting for, not past the goal, which is great. It's great to have goals.
I gave you a goal.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have to go through to get to this goal.
Right.
What are you willing to do it?
Right.
What are you willing to do to get this?
Right. In the words of Tupac, how do you want it?
How do you want it, baby?
I told our kids that one time. They're like, "Who's Tupac?" I was like, "Hey, it's true though. How do you want it? How bad do you want it? That is the basics of your character,
bro. How bad do you want it?
How do you bad?
When you want it as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Absolutely. No matter what you do. That's like saying, this is such a bad example, but I'm going to say it anyways. Say you get up in the morning, you're like, "Man, I want some cereal."
How bad do you want that cereal?
How bad do you want cereal? Do you want to get dressed and go to the store and buy cereal?
Or
are you just going to go, "I'm going to make some eggs"?
Oh, yeah. You know.
Hey, it's just like you ever had eggs Benedict?
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard this guy say, he's like, "I'm making eggs Benedict." He goes, "I don't have the patience for that." He's like, "The heck with it, I'm making scrambled eggs." Like, I'm going for something. It's not working out for me. I don't have time. I'm going to make I'm just whatever the fastest one is. But you have to stay in. You have to stay in.
Got to. Can't lose focus.
No. So, what was it like playing at South Sumter?
Oh man, that was a fun time. That was a journey.
What year did you come in?
I got there 2014.
Okay, 2014.
14.
So Coach Sherman was still.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
He was there my freshman, sophomore, junior year.
Okay.
Yeah, so freshman year I got there. They had me at quarterback. I got there. That was a fun time. Rewinding, we're gonna go a little bit further back. Let's go back to 8th grade.
Yeah. Sorry, I skipped over middle school.
Yeah. Let's go back there. So like I was telling you, I played for Leesburg, Pop Warner, and then I came back to South Sumter, and played for their Pop Warner. Mm-hmm. So in between there, I think that was 6th grade. So 7th grade, I didn't play football. I tried out for basketball. I didn't make the basketball team. And I was like, I'm not playing no sports. I don't care. I don't want to play no sports. 8th grade came, and then that's when basically all my other family members and friends were all coming in back to South Sumter Middle School, back to where we came from. And so it was me, Bokeon Rice, Carson Wills, Darion Shines, Derek Dixon, AJ Cedillo, Tricky Tompkins. Oh man, the list goes on. All of us are on one team, and we're like, hey, how good do y'all think we could be if we stay together? And everybody in that class was like, I think we can win two state championships if we honestly stay together and we stick together.
Right.
So Coach Kinley had us all under his wing. Coach Kinley asked me, hey, you want to play quarterback? No, I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you, Coach. I do not want to play quarterback. And like I say, that's the story. That's has been the story the whole time with me. And I'm like, no, I just don't want to do it. And he's like, listen, kid, you throw a great ball. You have the abilities to be a quarterback. I'm like, Coach, man, I'm 5'8". Like, at the time, I'm 5'8". Like, I don't think I'm going to grow much taller. Like, most quarterbacks are at least 6'1", 6'2", and they can see over the line. Coach Kinley, the man he is, and say, look at me, son. I'm a short guy myself, and I played quarterback. If you let me teach you, I promise you'll be a good quarterback. So I bought in. Because I wanted to play with all my friends. They were already out there, you know. Some of them were already established before me because I transferred back in. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Now, I will say this. That is the only time it's made sense to me where a coach has told me, you know you get to touch the ball every play, right?
You're like, sold.
Sold. Give me the ball. So, yeah, I get there, and I'm learning the offense, you know, learning 24, 25, trap, you know, and seeing this, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't have to do too much. I just have to do my job.
Right.
And that's what makes it easy, is when you know your job first and you understand what you're trying to do, it makes it easier for what's going on around you. Because now you're orchestrating everything. You're telling everybody where to go. Mm-hmm. Your plays we're calling is telling the defense how to line up. So now when you're getting that knowledge, it's like, oh, I know what all 22 is doing, not just my position. Mm-hmm. And now it's a whole different ball game. Yep. Because, like I say, you know what all 22 people on the field are doing, including yourself, you know? So I know what the safeties is doing. I know what the corners are doing. I know what the D-line's doing. I know what the linebackers doing. I know what my receivers are doing, my O-line's doing, my running back's doing. Oh, I know everything. How can you stop me? I know everything. Right. You play to my poison now. You play to my poise, my time. You're on my schedule. And I think Coach Kinley pouring into me and allowing me to see those things made me want it even more once I got to high school. It's like knowing, okay, no, you're not a quarterback, but you can do it. Yeah. if something happens, you can go out there and know what all 22 is doing. And freshman year came, and it was like, hey, you gotta be ready, because Levi Sapp, he's a senior. You know, we had Reese Kinley, he was playing defense a lot then, and it was like, you got to get ready. You know, if you don't get ready, we're gonna have to find somebody else.
Right.
So that JV season, I took it serious. We won every game. I think our close game was the Trinity Catholic that year. I think we won 23-24. The same Trinity Catholic team my senior year that almost beat us when we went down there, and we won 27-21. So it's that's why I say it was a journey, and it was fun to see, because those same teams that we got to play and go up against from middle school, those same guys, we got to see in high school.
Yep.
So it was like, it was a no-brainer. Like, oh, I know what their tendencies are. I know what kind of defense they're going to run. I know who's their best playmakers. I know who to throw, what side to throw to, what side not to throw to,
right.
Which made the game easier. And then, I mean, it also made it easier that I had three backs in the backfield that could just carry the team by themselves if they really wanted to. And mixing in that with all the kids we had since middle school, the chemistry was just there. Like you couldn't break it. There was nothing you could say or do to break us apart. Like, most people don't know this, but my center's been my center since I was in Pop Warner. You know?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, people don't realize that. They don't know how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
I've been taking snaps from this kid since we were at Pop Warner.
Yeah.
So like those were those things. Like, those minute details matter, because a new quarterback, a new center, now you got to work on quarterback center exchange.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get the ball.
Right.
You know, things like that, things that they don't see. You know.
Well, it's the chemistry. You know, the chemistry, it means so much more to, I mean, obviously the offense, the chemistry has to be there. The defense can be whatever it is.
Yes.
I feel like defense is more of an individual thing.
Yeah.
Even though it is a group effort. But you can get by subbing somebody in at defense than you would, or, you know, like say pro, you get a new wide receiver. Well, it's going to take a little while for them to get used to that quarterback.
Learn the playbook. He got a lot on his plate. If you got hand signals or whatever, it's a lot that goes into it.
You get a new DB, you just plug him in.
Hey, 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. Watch the deep ball.
Yep.
But yeah, and I mean, it goes further than that. I mean, you can. I mean, and as long as you guys have been together, that's an amazing thing for you guys to.
Yeah, that's rare. That's rare.
It is.
And the thing I can say to that is, if a coach ever has a group, starting in Pop Warner, starting in Little League, if he ever has a group, try his best to keep that group together, because it makes it fun for those guys, and they're going to lean on each other. They're going to become family. That is what it is about. Knowing that, hey, yes, this is life, but you don't have to go through life by yourself.
Right.
And once you build that, and the kids build that, and know, hey, I can count on this man. I can count on him. I can call him and say, hey, man, what do I have on this? And he can tell me.
Yeah.
Or I can call him and say, hey, man, you want to hang out this weekend? Let's go do something. You know, those things. Because once again, like you say, like we say, we get older, you don't have you have less time, less patience for the BS, because you know the BS is BS.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't have that much time left. My time is running out. What can I do to better me, myself, better you? How do we get better?